What's up, everybody? Pastor Matt. Thanks for checking into the YouTube channel. Hey, today we're going to talk very briefly about criticism and suffering from the harsh words of other people. I think all of us, especially those of us who are in ministry, have at some point been crushed by the feedback that we've received. Maybe it's fair, maybe it's not fair, but we've all suffered that crushing, it's like a lance right to the heart when somebody critiques us in a way that really, really hurts our feelings. You don't have to be in ministry, of course, to experience this kind of pain. You're going to experience it from all kinds of people in your life, maybe from your boss, maybe from your spouse, maybe from your friends, maybe from a colleague. But all of us are going to hear at some point some piece of criticism that really, really, really just cuts and hurts. We're going to talk about 3 questions you can ask yourself when somebody critiques you harshly that's going to help you to process that information. If you are just joining me, what's up? My name is Matt. I'm the pastor of Gospel Fellowship PCA. We are a Reformed Bible-believing church just north of Pittsburgh. Love to have you come visit us at some point. Also, don't forget our Image of God conference coming up November 11th and 12th, 2022. We're going to be talking about human sexuality from a biblical, confessional, and conservative perspective. The conference is free, and we'd love to have you come out and join us on that occasion. All right, well, I can remember a little personal anecdote here, getting some really harsh feedback from a colleague that I really respected about my preaching. And this is when I was very young and fresh and kind of green in the pulpit, did not have a lot of hours behind me in terms of experience. But nevertheless, every sermon that I preach, I really put my whole heart and mind and soul into preaching that message. And so when I received a fairly heavy critique about my preaching style, man, it really, really super hurt me. Hurt me really bad. And not only that, but I can think of a number of different times where in ministry you're going to receive a letter that's unsigned. Man, it's tough to even read those because, the reason they don't sign the letter is because they know it's wrong, right? That's why you do it. Because if you really believed what you were saying and you had the moral fortitude to back it up, you'd put your name on that letter. But a lot of times people will write a letter and they won't even sign it because they're cowards, they're afraid, they know they're doing wrong. Maybe they'll write some cutting little remark on the offering card and put that in the offering plate instead of an offering. And it's meant to hurt. It's meant to hurt people's feelings. We've all experienced that. So anyway, going back to my story of receiving some harsh criticism about my preaching, I went to a friend and I said, hey, this is what so-and-so said about my sermon. What do you think about that? And my friend, who's incredibly wise, one of the wisest people that I know, love him, dear brother in the Lord, he said, and he passed this on from his dad, he said, well, there's 3 questions you need to ask yourself when you are harshly critiqued, and they are as follows. Number 1, does the person making the critique care about me? Number 2, does the person who's making the critique know what they're talking about? And then number 3, is the person simply right? Are they right? So let's think about these for just a minute. First question, does the person love me? Now that's actually a really important question because not everybody does love you. Some people do though. And some people really, really care about you. And when they express any kind of concern, criticism, critique with you, that's going to hurt probably really badly because you love them and you know that they love you. But if you think about that qualification for just a moment, the fact that they love you should actually raise in your esteem the importance of their critique, because if you know that they love you, then you can trust that they probably have your best interests in mind. If not in this particular case, at least in general, you know that to be true. And sometimes you have had to give critiques or criticism to the people that you love, and you may have meant it with the best of intentions. But if I can ask myself this question, does the person love me? And the answer is yes, then I should take that criticism a little bit more seriously. Now, if I answer no, I know this person does not love me, I know this person maybe even hates me, maybe this person despises me, then I can jettison their criticism more easily than I can if the person actually cares about me. So first of all, ask yourself, does this critique come from a position of genuine concern? Or if it's not about you, maybe it's about the church, which hurts us too sometimes. Ask yourself, does this person genuinely care for and love the church? Again, if the answer is yes, then take that criticism to the next level. Second question is simply this. Does this person know what they're talking about? Does this person have any expertise in the subject matter about which they are criticizing me? For instance, going back to my example, if this person is criticizing my preaching, but this person has never preached a sermon in their life, well, then I can kind of receive their criticism with a little bit more of a grain of salt. If, however, as was in the case, and the person that critiqued me and hurt my feelings, the person was a very good preacher, then yes, I need to take that criticism a little bit more seriously. So you need to ask, secondly, then, does this person have any kind of qualification, knowledge, background, experience that would make their insight more practically helpful to me? Okay, so now, if I've got someone who loves me and they know what they're talking about, then I really need to go on to the third question. And the third question is simply, are they right? Now, it could be that a criticism comes from a place of ignorance. They do mean you well and they do know what they're talking about, but they simply are wrong in the facts of the matter in this case. If that's so, and you know that to be true, then you can dismiss that criticism. But if all three of those check marks are checked off, yes, they love me, yes, they know what they're talking about, and yes, they actually happen to be right, then don't be such a sissy pants about getting your feelings all hurt. Instead, you ought to take that criticism and do something with it and sharpen yourself and become better, be a better person, a stronger Christian, because you've received that criticism. Just because a criticism hurts doesn't mean you need to be hurt by it perpetually. Get over the hurt, make the changes, sharpen yourself, and improve, for goodness sakes, because that's one of the gifts of criticism, that we might actually see something from a different perspective and learn. All right, I know this video is short, but thanks for checking in. Love you lots. Talk to you later.